RVs, cars, or planes? Which way is best for you? We're going to be talking about that in this episode. Hey there, how are you? Dr. Dave, the RV dummy. Welcome back. I really appreciate the fact that you're here. And this is going to be a fantastic episode because we're going to share with you exactly, if you're not sure which way to travel, whether it's RV, should you jump in a car and stay in hotels, should you jump on an airplane and travel from place to place, we're going to break it down really well today. I've never done anything like this before. I'm going to explain it just 1 second. Before I do, I would appreciate it if you do one thing for me, whether you're brand new or whether you're a regular here. Give me a like right away. We'll just get it out of the way there. Give me a like. It's very easy because I guarantee you're going to love this video today. And I'll tell you something else. If you don't love it, at the very end, take the like away, but that's not going to happen. So let's get that out of the way. Do it right now. And one more thing, just to share with you, as you know, I come out with a brand new video every Tuesday here on YouTube at 9 a.m. Eastern time. And I do a live stream. I try to do a live stream every Sunday evening. Now, the VIPs get instant notification when I'm about to do a live stream. So if you want to become a VIP, all you have to do is text the word VIP to this number down here. I'm going to run a little ticker down there. You'll see it. I never abuse your phone number. I never give it to anybody. I never sell it to you. I will only use it if I need to notify you of something that's coming up real quickly, and that's the best way to do it. So become a VIP. It's free, and VIPs are also going to have some other advantages to be announced very, very soon. And the list of VIPs is growing quickly. So please do it. Now, I want to share something with you. I've got a friend named Robert, and he has a really cool little YouTube channel. By little, I mean he doesn't have thousands of subscribers, but that's okay. He's got some great content. I really respect what Robert's doing. His channel is called The Roads of Life. And I would encourage you, I'll give you the information down here, or it'll be in the show notes or the comments. I really urge you, if you like what you see today, to subscribe to Robert's channel, Roads of Life, because as I said, he puts some really good content out there. Now, I've never done this before, but Robert has recently come out with a video that breaks down the costs between RVing or driving in your car and staying at hotels, or jumping in an airplane, getting on an airplane and traveling from city to city, if that's the way you want to travel. He'll compare everything, and his numbers are right on. So we're going to bring Robert in just a second. I'll be back with you at the end. Robert, are you ready? Are you ready to come on in? Okay, Robert, take over, and I'll be back at the end with some final notes.
Hey, I had a conversation the other day about how expensive RVs really were. We weren't talking about purchase price, though that's high, but about all the repairs and updates needed after you buy a motorhome. And it got me thinking about a video I did a while back about our research into RVs. And I went back and viewed it.
So the fuel here is the strange number 321.43. All I did was cut the fuel in half to 642.86.
Boy, was that ever long-winded. So I decided to revisit the idea of traveling on vacations, which is what we want to do with a motorhome, and what the expenses might be. And that's what this video is about. Now keep in mind, we're looking at Class Bs and thinking we'd travel 4 or 5 months out of the year, give or take. So our expenses, like fuel and supplies, are based on that kind of travel. If you have a Class A, or if you plan on traveling more months out of the year, or even living in a motorhome, you may have other numbers. But in general, this information should help you create your own estimates. So let's start. First off, RV expenses. Fuel is one of those bigger expenses. I'm basing the mileage on a Class B. But if you're looking at a Class A, your mileage is going to be lower, about 6 miles a gallon. You can get more, but I'm being conservative in all my estimates for worst case scenarios. Hopefully, that will mitigate any errors in my estimates and calculations. Class Bs can get around 20 miles a gallon on a highway with everything going for you, but we plan on being in cities and smaller roads, so our mileage will be lower. That's why I'm going with 14 miles a gallon. 3,000 miles in a month seems pretty reasonable since we want to go slow and see whatever we can see, so I'm estimating 200 miles a day for 15 days out of a 30-day month. Propane cost is just an estimate from what other owners have told me, so keep that in mind. You may find you use more or less depending on your needs. Maintenance is set at $600 a month, but remember that many months would have no maintenance needs. I just figured that $7,200 a year would be a good amount to save for big issues like replacing tires or repairing drains, or big items like a refrigerator repair. In that conversation I had, the guy I was talking to said he spent $10,000 one year because of those kinds of issues. But that wasn't every year. I guess it was a bad year for them. So basically, we plan on putting away the $600 and pretending we don't have it on our regular monthly budget, so when something bad happens, we're prepared. RV insurance was a difficult item to pin down. Details weren't as forthcoming as I would have liked, so I just found an average. It was more than car insurance, so I took that into account. Memberships are for 2 people and include things like state park passes, RV clubs, and gyms, for those long showers and places to park for free. Laundry was estimated for 2 people. If you're traveling with a larger family, it will cost more. Mail means a mail service, since traveling for extended periods means we will need our mail forwarded to wherever we might be. There are a few options out there, so this cost is an average. Overnight is staying at RV parks. I assumed a worst-case scenario where we didn't boondock at all, either at a Walmart or a casino or even the middle of nowhere. Again, I wanted to be conservative in my estimates and assume each night costs money. Some places I found were expensive, like $90 a night, but many were as low as $25 or less, so $40 seems like a reasonable average. Supplies are for 2 people as well and can include all those items you run out of: paper towel, soap, toothpaste, things like that. Keep in mind, your costs are going to go up if you have more than 2 people in that RV. Groceries should be more expensive since a Class B doesn't exactly have a really large fridge, so we would need to buy smaller quantities more often. If you have a Class A, you might be able to reduce this cost since your fridge is probably full-sized. But then again, there may be more than 2 of you, so the cost may be greater. This brings us to a grand total of $3,527.86. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? But remember, you aren't traveling for an overnight or weekend trip. This is a monthly expense. Vacationing by car seems like it would be cheaper. I mean, look at all those repair expenses I've planned for. But you have to keep in mind that you aren't bringing a bed and a kitchen along with you in the car. So you have to pay for hotels and restaurants. So let's see what we find out. Fuel economy is much better than an RV. I estimated 21 miles per gallon, even though my car can get 25 miles a gallon if I'm using the highway a lot. But I wanted to see these costs based on the same style of vacation. Remember, we're planning on traveling in cities and smaller roads, so our mileage is going to be lower, but still better than an RV. Maintenance is also much less. Much, much less. Insurance is, again, an estimate, but it's an average for the U.S. Your insurance may be more or less depending on what kind you have. Then there are the hotels and the food. Yikes. You may think $150 is a lot for a room, but keep in mind, advertised prices don't include all those taxes and fees and whatever else they like to tag onto the bill. Although we have found motels for less, they are also, shall we say, less inviting than we would like to stay at. And if we're traveling for months, there's no way I'm staying in cheap motels every single night. It just ain't happening. Oh, and that 14% hotel occupancy tax I show in this table, that's actually less than what the state I live in charges. So I'm being very generous at keeping the nightly room rate at $150. The food is listed out at $8 for breakfast, $10 for lunch, and $14 for dinner for 2 people. You may find cheaper or more expensive places depending on your tastes, but even so, I didn't include expenses like extra snacks or anything, so again, I feel I'm being more than generous. This gives us a total of $7,023.57, quite a bit more than traveling in an RV, even with the higher repair budget. But we're not stopping there. We also fly on vacation, so I wanted to include those kinds of trips as well. Let's see what we get. Flights for 2 people can be pricey. And yes, you can find deals. But remember, just like hotels, advertised prices don't include fees and taxes. As an example, my daughter and I are off to Savannah, Georgia soon, and there are no cheap direct flights. So we're spending over $1,000 for the round-trip flight. So if you can always get $400 round-trip flights for 2, great. But I haven't been that successful. Also, those great deals may mean you have to limit your travel to certain times of the year or a set amount of days. But an RV or car means we go when we want to. So it's not really the same thing, is it? Car rental is crazy expensive nowadays. I suppose you may find a deal if you rent for an entire month, but I haven't found anything great yet. If you don't rent a car, you still need to get places, so taxis and car hires are going to cost. Fuel, rooms, and restaurants are the same as the car expenses, so I just added them here. This totals $9,748.57, even more than automobile travel. So where does this leave us? I wanted to find out what monthly cost differences were between traveling by RV, by car, and by plane. On this chart, I listed expenses for each type of trip and ended up with a cost difference of $3,495.71 for travel by car and $6,220.71 for air travel. Next, I wanted to know how long it would take to pay off that RV expense. In other words, assuming I save money by traveling by RV instead of a car or plane, the difference in the table, how many 1-month trips would I need to take to actually save the amount of money I spent and am continuing to spend on that RV? For those of you who have seen my previous videos, this is my return on investment. So assuming I spend a total of $110,000 on an RV, it will take 32 1-month trips compared to travel by car and 18 1-month trips compared to travel by plane. Technically a little less since I rounded up. If we're really going to travel 4 months out of the year, that's 8 years of travel by car or 4.5 years if by plane. We travel both ways on vacation, so let's split the difference and say 6 years. So in 6 years, we've saved the equivalent of $110,000, which is what we paid for the RV in this example. This is how long it will take us to get our money back from the RV purchase. Now these are all just estimates, so don't take my word for it. Figure out what a motorhome will cost you. Estimate the work that will need to be done. You may buy used and save a lot, but spend more on repairs, or you may buy new and spend a lot to start off with, but less on immediate repairs. If you're paying off a loan, your costs are a lot higher than you think, so be careful. But whatever you decide to do, that's your real cost. The next step is to determine what you spend on travel, whether by car, plane, or bus, or whatever. Figure out the difference compared to RV travel, then divide it into your RV cost to see how long it will take to get your money back from the RV purchase. Remember, this gives you a perfect world example, a place where nothing will go wrong. But we don't live in a perfect world, so keep that in mind. There will be unforeseen expenses and issues, but hopefully, planning ahead will give you enough power and control to overcome challenges that may arise so you can enjoy your RV and make wonderful memories. That's what we're planning on doing.
Okay, Robert, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Great information. So have you figured it out? Do you think you're going to be RVing? Is that best for you, or just traveling in a car? Now, we have an RV, but I've done both. Yoko and I still do some traveling in the car when we need to, and we'll stay at hotels, and that's actually worked out very well for us. Also, planes, I try to minimize that as much as possible. We really are on the road most of the time. Because of our cat Boo Boo, we really like to drive and like to take our time and make a lot of stops. There's nothing like it. So I hope this video has helped you. If it has, again, please subscribe to Robert's channel called Roads of Life. I'll put the information in the show notes there, as well as, if you're not a subscriber yet to my channel, The RV Dummy, I invite you to become a subscriber, because we've got some great stuff, not only that we've done in the past already, but coming up. We've got a really, really good, tight-knit community of people here that really just get it. And we're having fun doing this. So I urge you to please subscribe. And the only other thing I have to say is I will see you next time. Take it easy. I'm Dr. Dave, also known as the RV Dummy.